Welcome to Eina Live channel. Today we are lucky to have Amélie Paviet. She is the marketing director of NTN Europe, so welcome. And also Manuel Van Royen, managing director of ADI International, so welcome on our live channel. We would like to ask you some questions about the aftermarket. How the first would be, how did you perform as with your own organizations during the post-COVID period 2021, and what is coming and the tendencies that are on this year 2022? So I don't know who wants to answer first. Ladies first.
Thank you, Manuel. So if you can compare 2021 to 2020, which was a difficult year due to COVID, but with the end of 2020, which was quite good with a quite good recovery, 2021 was pretty a good year for NTN Europe because as we have lots of plants, manufacturing plants all over Europe, in France, in Germany, in Romania, and so on. Even if many of our competitors had to face shortages and so on, we were able to perform in terms of deliveries to our customer. So it means that the end of 2021 was very good. And the beginning of 2022, it sounds good, well. And we can now cross the finger that it will keep until the end of the year on such trend.
Yeah, well, actually, Amélie, I can confirm what you said. First of all, 2020 for us, and I speak for the 24 partners in ADI in the 50 countries where we are present. We found we are actually in ADI, we are monitoring our sellout because this is the closest to the market. It's what our distributors are selling to the garages. And we found out that actually in 2020, which was a difficult year, we outperformed the market by at least 5 points, which is, for me, it's a miracle, right? 2021 actually is a second miracle because despite all the challenges which are still there, and you mentioned shortage, we are suffering, not with SNR, but some other companies really have difficulty in supplying the products in time. That is one problem. The other problem which we are facing is maybe worse, and that is the price increase, because we will have to increase our prices to our customers. So it will increase a competition situation in the market, and the market is already very harsh, very grim. So, but despite all this, 2021, I think we will end, we don't have the final figures today, but we will end at +12, +15, yeah, which is quite good. And then 2021, I can confirm what you said. We have first feedback from January, February, and it seems that the year has started very well. So for us, the bottom line at ADI is to say we are optimistic, but cautiously optimistic.
About the new challenges, this is the other questions I would like to ask you. New challenges that we know are coming into the aftermarket are about the electrification of our car parks. So what is the position of NTN Europe towards this challenge, and also the position and what is anticipating ADI, let's say, regarding this change in mobility?
Okay, I could say that NTN Europe is well prepared for the new challenges like electrification and also automation. In fact, we have a R&D department in NTN Europe dedicated to mechatronics, and we are already delivering some solution in terms of very precise bearing that are going inside the leader in the vehicles, and we will continue to focus on that kind of products. And also we have developed some specific bearings, high-speed bearings and very precise bearing capable to measure the position and the angle for the electric engines. And we know that the car park will evolve a lot. We can expect that around 20% of the car park will be electrified in the 2030s, but with a big increase of the hybrid vehicles. Of the electric vehicles compared to the hybrid ones, it means that some parts will won't be anymore in the vehicles, like the engines. And in aftermarket, we have 3 different ranges: one dedicated to powertrain, one for chassis, and one for driveline. And we can expect that the one for the engine and powertrain won't be the same, but we have all the products linked to chassis. It means the CV joints, it means the suspension parts, it means the wheel bearings, and those parts will remain. So that's also an opportunity for us. And we can also say that in aftermarket, we have some strategies to develop new services, trainings, and so on, that can help us to go ahead these new challenges.
Okay, well, you asked a question about EV, and it's an important topic, but let me first say that we are actually following quite closely the evolution of the aging of the car park. And what we are seeing is that in general, and I think, again, and we can speak for most of the European markets, is that the car park is aging, right? So the aftermarket sweet spot that we have between 4 or 5 years old and 11 years old, that used to be the sweet spot. Now the sweet spot is actually going from 4 or 5 years to actually 15, 20 years old. And those cars will still be on the market tomorrow and the day after tomorrow. And even in 2030, when you say that 20% and so on. So I think that's an important message for our repairers and our distributors. So don't give up the existing business, because it will be there for a number of years. Then, obviously, you mentioned hybrid vehicles. The hybrid vehicle is actually good news for us, because they all have the engines and they have the technology. They have the best of 2 worlds. So we have to train our guys not to replace the filters. They know how to do it, but to touch the electronic part of these hybrid vehicles. That's one thing. And then the third, obviously, the electric vehicle, which will be maybe not the final phase, but I think the phase that we are facing in the next 10 years. These EV will be trickling down into the aftermarket for sure. So what do we have to do? We have to adapt ourselves, but we've always done that. We've adapted to other technologies in the past. We will continue to do that. And we will prepare ourselves. And what do we do to prepare ourselves? We ask ourselves the question, and you said it, what parts will still be in these electric vehicles? Will they break down? And how will we repair them? Will we repair them, or will we maybe replace them, or will we reflash them, refurbish them, whatever? And then we will have to help our customers to on this electric journey, because our repair shops will be there without any knowledge, without any information. That's one thing. And I forgot to say that obviously on the parts issue, we will have to find out whether we will have the right suppliers to supply these parts to help us in this. So this is a big job. We will have time to do it, but we should not waste time. We have to go forward to it. And to come back to the repair shop issue, garages need help for this. We will give them. We are used to doing that, and that's why Grup Eina and Eureka is helping us a lot in this with trainings and technical support and hotline help and so on. But an important topic there is certification, because even if you are well trained to touch and repair a electric vehicle, if you do not have the homologation, the authorization to do that, you cannot do it. Or you are even at risk of your life. I mean, if you touch the wrong wire, it might be a big problem. So these are the topics that really not keep us awake at night, but we work on that. We work on that. And I think the evolution, EV, will make a separation in the market from between those who are willing to take the step and those who are not willing to take the step.
Thanks for the answers. Last questions, last but not least, there is a topic about data. Is it ownership or accessibility. It's a wide issue, if we can say it like that, about for the aftermarket and the professional repairs and also the car owners. What are your views on this topic? I know it's not an easy topic because the car makers want to get, let's say, the monopoly on this data streams to use them or to sell them or to take this as an input for their marketing strategies, etc. What are your...
It's quite tricky topic.
I'm glad you go
because,
first.
I don't know if it's a good idea, but it's a tricky topic because you're right. The data for the moment is used by the car manufacturer, and we need to push really to help an independent aftermarket to have the access to this data to use it. And as an OEM, it's quite difficult also. We are producing parts, and we can expect that we can have some sensors on the part, on something that can help us to prevent some failures, to make some preventive maintenance and so on. But for the moment, our parts for N10 Group, CV joints, wheel bearings, strut bearings, and other bearings are not equipped at all. So it means that we can't use the data linked to our products to make something regarding to maintenance on that. And a second point also is who is the owner of the data? Is it the car manufacturer? Is it the car driver? And from a legal point of view, I think it's not yet decided. So
Owner.
or the car owner.
Yes, it
yeah,
depends
car
on the
owner.
ownership of the car.
Yeah.
No? If you're renting a car,
Yeah, for
I
the
don't
fleet.
know who's then the owner of the data.
And that's quite, we need to be cautious with that because the data business is also weighted by the insurances. It means that it's a part of the usages, the way the driver is using his car that can be inside the data. And the legal point of view in terms of, is it the car driver who own the data? Is it the car manufacturer? Will really impact the way we can make business with the data. And for me, it's not clear yet.
Okay, well, our view on this, first of all, we are in the car parts business. And the topic that you mentioned has actually a lot of legal aspects. Yeah. We are not lawyers, but obviously we have a federation, they're called FIGEFA, and they are sitting in Brussels, and they are actually doing lobbying, and they know the people in the European Parliament and the European Commission. So what I'm saying is that we actually rely on those people to do that, because finally, what will happen, there will be legislation opening up all these data and making sure that all parties in the market, going from the producer of the parts to all the way down to the consumer, that will be open. And why is that? Why are we so confident? Is because it's the main objective of Europe is actually to make sure that the price levels remain more or less stable. And the only way to do that is to have fair competition. Mm-hmm. And that's what they will do. The only question is, how fast will that go? And what will happen in the meantime? Because if we will have legislation in 3 years, 5 years, but what will happen in the meantime, right? That's the question. The only thing I can say is that ADI is well represented at FIGEFA. We are in lots of too many work groups at FIGEFA. But giving input and giving information to them. We are also discussing with our suppliers, obviously, because you are the producers of the parts, so you are at the basis of many things which are covered by this legislation, motor vehicle block exemption regulation, for instance. So yeah, basically, again, following the topic, relying on people who are competent to do that in Brussels, and that's it.
Regarding this, the N10 Group decided also to create an IoT department in order to think of all these things in terms of OE, but also in aftermarket. So in order to prepare the future.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure for us. So please seize the opportunity. If you want to use a live channel another time, you're welcome. So,
Can I say something?
of course.
Yeah, I would like to congratulate Grup Eina because we've just visited the new studios and the new location here. It's really fabulous, and I can recommend everybody to just drop by Figueres. It's a nice area. The food is good. But you should definitely see this because this is the future. And it's the reason why we rely on Grup Eina to do that.
Studio is wonderful.
It's
So
wonderful.
thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Until next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.